Hello, welcome back to Cinderella Math. Today is just a quick one question video. This was sent in by one of my tutoring students. He is currently in Algebra 2. I would say this is an Algebra 2 / pre-calc problem. Yeah, we are solving a radical equation and I have it written up there already in red. So let's jump right in. To remove that cube root, we need to cube the left-hand side. That will cancel out. And then we need to cube this side because we need to be fair, right? Life's not fair, but algebra is. So this will now just be 2x squared minus 11x plus 14. And then I'm going to write this 3 times because, of course, cubing something or taking something to the third power means we multiply it by itself 3 times. All right, so 2 times 2 would be 4. This would be negative 2x, and positive x squared. And then I'm just going to drop that third one down. Combining like terms would give us 4 minus 4x plus x squared. And still dropping that third one down. And then let's multiply again. 4 times 2 is 8. That would be negative 4x. This one right here would be negative 8x. Positive 4x squared. And finally this would be positive 2x squared negative x cubed, combining like terms and putting them in descending order. So negative x cubed, 6x squared, negative 12x, and positive 8. And this whole time, this one's just going to drop. All right. I'm going a little fast because I've got a tutoring student in about 10 minutes. But that's just basic algebra, multiplying, check my arithmetic, it should be fine. And now let's solve this. Okay, so I am going to go up on top here, so pause me if you're still copying. Solving that blue equation at the bottom, we want to move everything over so that it's set to 0. And you want to move towards your biggest so that your biggest power is positive. So this guy, the x cubed, is our biggest power, but he's negative. So we're going to move him over so he's positive. So we're going to add x cubed, bye-bye. So that'll just come over here and be positive x cubed. And then let's just continue moving everything over to the left so that it's equal to 0. So we're going to minus 6x squared, minus 6x squared. So now we have x cubed, negative 4x squared. Let's add 12x. Add 12x. Negative 11 plus 12 would be positive 1x, or just x. And then we're going to minus 8 and minus 8. 14 minus 8 is positive 6. And then that equals 0. We moved everything over. And again, you want your leading coefficient to be positive. So this is a positive 1. We could have moved the other way. I just highly prefer, and most math teachers do, that leading to be positive. Alrighty. So that's better. And now that is a 4-piece polynomial. We could try to factor by grouping. That's a strategy we use with 4 terms, but it doesn't always work. Let's try it. Put this in a group, put these in a group. You pull the GCF out of the first 2, which would be x squared. That would leave x minus 4. And you pull the GCF out of the second 2, which is 1, and that would leave x plus 6. Now this has failed. This is not a good strategy here because the trick to factor by grouping is that these, the leftover pieces, have to be the same. And these are not. So we cannot do this. It's worth a try though. It just did not work here. So we are not going to factor by grouping. Didn't work. So we need to use the rational root theorem. It's sometimes also called the rational zero theorem to find our possibilities. Okay. So I think I have another video on that. If not, there's many on YouTube. But this is saying if you have a polynomial equation, which we do, set to 0, which it is, if this thing has rational answers, they come from the back number. So that constant, list out its factors. So what are the factors of 6? 1, 2, 3, and 6. Divide by the factors of your leading coefficient, which is a 1. What's the factors of 1? 1. And now divide. So do 1 divide 1, well that's 1. 2 divide 1, that's 2. 3 divide 1, and 6 divide 1. And then give everybody a plus minus. All right, these are our possible answers. Not saying they are answers, but if this pink polynomial equation has good answers, pretty answers, rational answers, it comes from that list. And then you just guess off this list. Okay, for the sake of time, I am going to guess one that works. I am going to guess positive 2. And you guess and you put it into synthetic division, which I know I have a video on. If you need to watch that, feel free to go on my channel. And so I'm going to put 2 in the box and then put your coefficients. So 1, -4, 1, 6. Not the 0, don't worry about that. And then we drop down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. There we go. And again, this works if your remainder is 0. So if I would have picked something else and the remainder was not 0, I would have just crossed that out and picked again. So I just chose from the possibilities. This one worked. If it didn't work, I would just scratch out and try again. So 2 is an answer. X equals 2. But there could be more answers. So let's take our leftover out of the synthetic. So this, ignoring the 0, because he's 0. Okay, so this would be our constant. Give him an x, give him an x squared. This is our new problem. 1x squared, or just x squared, minus 2x minus 3. Factor that. I factor with magic x, factor however you like. I do first times last, so that'd be -3. And our middle number is -2. We want to multiply there, add there. Going through my times tables, what if you owe me 3, give me 1? You'd still owe me 2, yes. So our factors would be x minus 3, x plus 1, set to 0. This would come over and be 3, set to 0. This would be -1. So we have final solutions. X equals squiggly bracket because it's a set, least to greatest. We've got -1, 2, and 3. Yes, you could solve this differently. If you picked different than 2 up here into the synthetic, it could look different, but these should be your answers. Final answers, 3 answers. X equals -1, 2, and 3. I would like to use Desmos to back up my answer. So if you're allowed to check your answers, this is how you would do it in Desmos or any graphing calculator. So our original question was cube root, CBRT, 2x squared minus 11x plus 14, and it equaled 2 minus x. And those solid lines, those are your answers. So you can see we have a solid line at -1 right there, 1, 2 right there, and 3. And that was what I had. X equals -1, 2, and 3. Alrighty, I hope this was helpful for just a little quick video there on solving a radical equation. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.